Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. Thank you for being here today. We are going to be continuing today our 7 steps for releasing the year based on Jane Hart's 7 steps for successful life transitions. Jane is my spiritual teacher, mentor. I've been studying with her for over 30 years, and for many of those years, a couple of decades worth of those years, me and some of the other people she has taught over the years have continually used this process each year at the end of the year. I use it at my birthday also to release myself going into my next age that approaches quickly. But we've all been working on this process every year, and it's just so valuable. And I know I've heard from people I've worked with one-on-one that this is also a valuable process to just kind of get a fresh start for the new year. And especially when many people are working a process, there's an energy that builds with it. So our time here together every Monday in December as we work on this process is building an energy, and we're supporting each other by being here and reflecting together on the steps that we're working on. And on Sunday mornings at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 o'clock Central Time, the Center for Enlightenment, Jane Hart's spiritual education organization, is doing this 7 steps process as well. And today we are working on releasing our hopes and dreams for the year. Not that we're not going to continue throughout this process, but today we're focusing on the hopes and dreams step. And next week is the forgiveness step. If you've ever done her 7-step process, you'll notice that these steps are in a little bit different order than they usually are for releasing a person or a situation as part of our other work that we do. But this is a special organization of these 7 steps that just is valuable. It's valuable, especially if a year has been difficult. We started with our disappointments and difficulties, and we can get those out in the open and keep processing them for the whole time, or hopes and dreams, or gratitude, and all of that anyway. So I hope that you took some time every day or several times this week to look at your hopes and dreams for this year and any disappointments and difficulties that followed while you were working on that. I know for many of us, sometimes these hopes and dreams are called New Year's resolutions. I don't hear that term so much anymore. I think we all have kind of worn that out and don't really buy into it anymore. We either don't trust ourselves or don't trust the enthusiasm that we feel at the beginning of the year. But nevertheless, we do go into each year with hopes and dreams, with expectations for the year. And you may have said this yourself or hear it from other people. Oh, in the new year, I'm going to fill in the blank. And those are the things that we're looking for to bring up and to process in this step today, because we want to look at what hopes and dreams we're carrying into the new year. If there are goals that you had for this year that weren't met, this is a wonderful opportunity to not just list that goal that wasn't met, but to reflect on, well, why didn't I meet that goal? Was it because something else came up that was more important, that took my time? Was it, maybe a health issue or family situation or life circumstance changed, jobs changed, we move, life happens in, between January and December. So lots of things can come up that can kind of steer us in a different direction than we thought we wanted or needed to go in when we started the year. So this is our time to look at those and see, okay, well, do I still have those goals? If I had goals that didn't get accomplished this year, are they still my goals? Do I still value them? And if so, let's take them into the new year and put some new energy into them and say, okay, here's what I need to do to make those goals happen. Here are steps I can take. Here is a little bit more, in her video yesterday, Jane called it, oomph. We got to put more oomph into those goals if we want them to happen, because we are the only ones who make them happen. Life circumstances aside, it's our responsibility to put action into our goals. So we want to make sure the ones we're taking into the new year are really worth our time and energy and effort that we're giving them in January. We want to make sure that we can stick with that throughout the year. Again, if it's important to us. And maybe there are a lot of hopes and dreams you had back in January for this year that now feel not so important. And let's let them go. Like, oh gosh, I thought it would be great to get a 3-wheel bicycle back in January, but I hardly went on my 2-wheel bicycle this year. So, maybe a 3-wheel one isn't the best use of my time, energy, or money. I don't know. I didn't really have that goal, but I'm just trying to make something up as an example. What goals do you have? And what personal goals, personal development or spiritual development goals do you have for the new year? And those are the most important ones. Is there somebody that needed forgiving this year? Was there, that maybe you didn't get to that, or maybe there is a comfort zone that you'd like to move out of that you've been kind of thinking about this year and wanted to, but for whatever reason didn't. All these kind of things are good to look at. So not just our outer goals, home, job, people, whatever, but our inner goals too. What are your inner goals? Oh gosh, I really promised myself back in January that I would meditate for at least 5 minutes every day. And maybe I got, half an hour every Monday, but nothing else for the rest of the week. Well, that's a wonderful goal. That's a wonderful goal to build that momentum, that internal momentum, and that internal support for yourself. So we let go of the old goal and hope and dream and desire and expectation from this year, and we take the ones with us that we want for the new year. And we're going to even release those so that we're going to throw them up in the air like confetti, and then in the new year they could land and with the traction that we need to make them happen, the ones that we're carrying over. And the rest we let go. So we're going to we're going to focus on in our meditation time, releasing the other disappointments and difficulties that came up. We're going to spend a moment on that step. And then we're going to add our hopes and dreams and focus on those the most. And next week, we're going to focus on forgiveness. And that is a step in and of itself. And I'm going to send the questions out in the email. So if you are not on my email list, let me know and I will put you on it. But I'll add those to the recording description also, so you can have those anytime. I have a link for all the questions that are part of this process, so you can jump into those forgiveness questions. But right now we're going to settle back and take a couple of deep breaths. There's so much activity and excitement and pressure and stress this time of year. A lot of joy and laughter, and other times having to push through things. We're just going to let all of that go right now. And we're going to let our breathing return to just a normal pace. Breathing with the belly. Let your focus be on that belly breath, coming in and out easily, smoothly, until you don't have to think about it anymore. I invite you to picture that basket or that container, whatever yours looks like. All of 2023 inside. Just feel that in your arms. It's light and easy to carry. Just feel all of those people, places, things, situations that made up your year. Just imagine them all represented in your basket. And see before you a set of stairs. They're solid and filled with light, surrounded by light. And we take our basket of the year. When we step forward, just let that light shine on you and your basket. Feel that warm, healing light all around you. And we just say thank you for this year, all that it has brought to us. And we are grateful for this opportunity to let it go and move forward. We move forward on that first step of disappointments and difficulties. Just step up onto that step with this basket and let those disappointments and difficulties that have surfaced the last couple of weeks just kind of pop up in your basket or container. all these difficulties, people, places, things, situations that have been challenging this year. We see them, acknowledge them, release them, stop. Let them all go. Perhaps they fly out of your basket and disappear into the light. And take a moment to thank yourself for moving through all of those disappointments and difficulties. No matter how you thought you did, handled them, you are here now looking at them on the other side. You take a breath and take the next step. All the hopes and dreams. And let those hopes and dreams, those goals and desires, expectations of the year surface in your basket. This is our shoulda, coulda, woulda step. I wish I would have, or I feel like I should have, or I could have done better. Whatever, all of those loose ends in the year. And let all this surface. Maybe a few stand out to you. Maybe some of your goals you accomplished. And we acknowledge those right now with gratitude. And we may see them on our gratitude step again later on in the process. But we acknowledge those fulfilled desires and hopes and dreams. We acknowledge those we did not complete, or the ones we lost interest in, the ones that got sidetracked by other life situations. Maybe there were goals we had and we got discouraged, so we stopped trying. And just bring all those up. What remains unfulfilled for you? And what desires do you have for the new year that have been formulating within you already? Just let those come to the surface. And we let these all fly out of our basket, being released. We let go of the goals that no longer are important to us. And we even let go of those hopes and dreams and desires for the new year that we do want to make happen. We let them go right now, and we promise that later we will spend time with those. But right now, we just let them go. And just feel that light on the staircase just pouring all over you, dissolving the old hopes and dreams and energizing the new. When we take the next step, this will be our step of forgiveness that we're working on this week. This is our time to reflect what we need to forgive about this year. I'm just going to let that get stirred up in our basket right now. What needs to be forgiven? Is there someone, maybe several someones that need to be forgiven because of things that have gone on this year or in any year? Maybe there's something that happened and we feel angry at God. Or maybe we feel that we need to forgive ourselves. And just let all of those stir in the basket right now. And yes, they're not fun to look at. They don't feel like a joyful part of the season, but it's so valuable to not carry any unforgiveness with us into the new year. We can't truly start fresh on January 1st if we're carrying unforgiveness with us. And we want to start whole and renewed as we enter the next year. So with that goal in mind of being fresh and clear and renewed for the new year, we allow those unforgivenesses to surface. And on this step, we make the commitment to write about them this week, to really be honest with ourselves about what we're holding, what we're carrying, what we're thinking. It's little resentments that turn into big resentments. And just bring them all up. And not for no reason, not just to let them be up forever, but to acknowledge them, to forgive, and to release and let go. And that is our work this week. So now I invite you to just embrace that year that you're holding in your arms. Say thank you. Thank you for all the opportunities to grow, including this step right in front of me. Thank you. And feel your feet on the ground and let the steps just dissipate right now. Let that light that surrounds you continues to surround you as you do this work. We take that light with us into our week. And if you can continue holding this space of forgiveness, I invite you to do so. If you feel like doing some journaling because of anything that has surfaced, I definitely invite you to do that. Or if you need to go about your day, just keep those unforgivenesses that came to the surface in mind until you can write them down. And check in with yourself every day What do I need to forgive from this year? Ask yourself that every single day. Write it down. If there's any deeper forgiveness work that needs to be done, do that. Journal about the topic or the person or yourself, whatever that is. Just let yourself write about it and say, I forgive you. Here's what I'm forgiving you for. I'm forgiving you free and clear. I'm forgiving myself free and clear. This is our work for this week. If you are going about your day, I invite you to take a deep breath and switch gears and have a great week journaling about this. The very important step of forgiveness, probably the most important step of those 7 steps. But in order to get to the forgiveness work, we have to do the other steps because we have to know what we're forgiving. So our unfulfilled hopes and dreams and our disappointments and difficulties, all of that, get to release and let go. So have a wonderful week of journaling on this step, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.